If you've seen it already, a new tier list is out made by me, with all the units up till May 2023. Hey guys, I'm Katsuma Gaming and I'm here to explain you my tier list. First, before we actually dive into the tier list, a few quick things that I want to mention. First up, the program that you can see is made by Darkestar in the Discord, so huge thanks to him for actually making this for me, because it's a really helpful tool, because as you can see on the left you can actually see the character, including their whole kit, so skills, passive, and even the ultis, which makes it a lot more easier to explain why a unit is ranked in a specific tier. Second of all, the tier list is made with 3 parts in mind. First, I keep the current arena usage in my head, so if a unit is used a lot more than I expected, for example, it should rank higher. If a unit gets less use than I expected, it should rank lower in the future. Second of all, the current level of the unit. So for example, if a unit is in theory really good in the future, but she's missing her team partner, or the unit will get really good the moment her ulti 2 level 9 drops, or her ulti 2 version 2, I will of course rank these units now lower and will then actually push them up the moment they really become the best of their selves. And last but not least, as a GP player, I have good knowledge, I would say, of the future meta of this game, so of course I also will count this as well as a factor in the tier list. So yeah, if you disagree with everything, or if you have any questions, please ask them in the comments down below so I can hopefully address them, or join my Discord and ask them there. The tier list is split into a few different tiers. First, the top tier is of course the SSS tier. The text below the tier should explain what the tier is mentioned for. In that case, SSS is for the best unit or best units that are in the game. Then we have the SS tier. These are units that are really strong on and off elements, so if you can run a unit at least in 2 different elements, she's probably in there. Then the S tier is for every top tier unit in their respective element. So all the top units per element should be in there. A is the tier slightly below S, so these units are really good, but like not always maybe the best option, but can still be really good. And then we have the B tier with units that are good if you don't have the best unit. So for example, if you need a speed unit and a speed unit is the S tier unit, but there's not a speed unit who does a little bit less damage, who works a little bit less good, but is still decently usable, it's probably in the B tier. After that, we have the sub tier with all units that have at least good or decent sub traits to use on other units. This can also not only include, this includes physical and magical attack boost, of course, gauge boost, and last but not least, also elemental damage boost if that element is used by another unit as well. Then we have the Zag tier, the worst in the sub tier. These are the units that you, right now at least, probably never use, not even as a sub. Then we have the passive trait units. So these are the units that have a passive trait, but aren't that strong that you can rank them per se in a different tier. Like, these are the units that you normally don't want to come out at the end of the battle. They can come out, and it's probably not the worst, but most of the time the best case run is when they don't come out, so they have a separate tier. And last but not least is the unreleased tier with, of course, the 4 Halloween units. That's right, woohoo! Stacey Soft, please drop them. But yeah, let's start with the top, and for that I undo the blur mode, because you probably already see the tier list, and if not, there it is. We start of course with the SSS tier, which is Legendary Chris. I know a lot of people out here are a little bit suspect on Chris and be like, yeah, she's not that good as people had her up to be. This is a big, she will get really good the more in the future we come. For example, in the future, aka pretty soon actually, off elemental damage should be reduced in Arena, and that's a point where you can still use her, or use her actually even more, because her kit is not fully damage focused, but it's full utility focused, and if your team needs that utility and already has strong damage units, she will be a really good slot in unit. Okay, let's take a quick look at her kit. First up, as a fast unit, of course, she has a special passive that's really strong. 11% bonus attack, amazing. Wind basic attack, really good for a physical unit, of course. Then her skill 1 that gives you a moderate speed boost for your whole team, really good. By the way, keep in mind 10-second duration, 60-second cooldown. And she has a CDR skill on a skill 2 that reduces the cooldown by 4 seconds, so you literally only have a 2-second downtime on this skill normally, which is really strong. Like 2-second downtimes alone. So the moment you have any other CDR in your team, you can keep the speed up the whole time. This is amazing. And her ulti 2 can buff both physical and magical attack, and would just get stronger if we actually get higher ulti 2 levels. The thing about her is that you can use her in every element where you need 2 of these kind of things. Like CDR is always good. You don't need to ask if my team wants CDR. It's always good. If you have a team that has no buffer, she's already good. If you need a team that has a speed boost, she's already good. I know few teams already have a dedicated speed boost unit, for example Water with swimsuit Erika and stuff like that. So of course in these elements you don't see her, but in the future when more units come, really strong units come, that maybe just take the slot of one of these units away that provides speed boost, it's Fast Crest time to come in to provide all of these kind of buffs. Second tier, SS tier. Meta units on and off element. So far we have 2. First one is Fast Aqua, to also probably no one's surprise. Guess I need to make the image here a little bit smaller. Yep. Aqua's kit is so long, I need to make the image a little bit smaller. There we go. Yeah, the really strong parts about her is, of course, first, she's an awesome sub. 5% physical attack boost plus 15% super gauge fill rate is always good. Even in JP, you use her always as a sub in pretty much all the teams. Even for magical units, she's still a really good support, thanks to the super full gauge rate. Then, of course, Water Elemental Basic on a physical unit, really good. That also heals. Gauge up on skill 1, CDR on skill 2. Okay, skill order is reversed, but you know what I mean. Gauge up and CDR are probably one of the strongest buffs that you have in the game besides Rash Rate and Speed Boost, so having them on the kit is amazing. And again, this is a moderate skill reduction, so 6 seconds. So it's even better. Like, you can spam her skills pretty much. If you have another CDR unit in the team, you don't even need to basic anymore. You can just spam skills, and it's really strong. And with that, she's also an amazing support for pretty much every damage unit in the game, especially physical units. Her ulti 2 version 5 would work for magical units, but then again, a few of the strong magical units like Lanier, like Wiz, don't get healed by her, which brings her value a little bit lower. Second unit is, of course, Melia. Here we have the same thing again. Her ulti 1.5 with the speed boost, with the damage reduction is alone really strong. She has a really good ulti 2 actually, with a moderate CDR skill. Sadly, again, it's only level 5, so the damage and everything is a little bit lower, but it will get better in the future, which probably pushes some of her units up as well, spoiler. And then yeah, just strong skills. First up, single target Rash Rate, really good. All the teams want Rash Rate. And with her ultis, she's a really good pickup in pretty much every element, as long as you have not a dedicated Rash Rate unit for it. But yeah, she's just good. Like, even off element, even in dark arenas, we just use her. So she's still really good. Then let's go to the next units. First is Singer Kazuma. I think you pretty much know him by already. He's a Rash Rate skill. He has a slow skill. Really good unit. Best Rash Rate unit, or one of the best in Wind that we currently have. The orders, of course, near you is. That is also here in the S tier, by the way. But yeah, strong skills, high damage, slow ulti with lower gauge fill rate costs is really good. Even his ulti 1.5 is in some case really good. So yeah, just a strong unit for Wind. Well, let's just talk about Wiz, because we just talked about her. Kinda same as Kazuma. Her benefit is she has AoE Rash Rate versus single target Rash Rate. So in the future, when there are multiple enemies in the final wave, and yes, this is something that is going to happen, she will have her value increase even more, because then she's really good. But even without that, she still has her benefits. Like, Her skill 2 is a big damage nuke that is really strong. And if the enemy actually deals a lot of damage, there's also the strategy of running Kazuma, slot 1, front 1. Let him faint after, for example, using a slow. Then Wiz can come in and just reapply Rash Red. By the way, her Rash Red also scales to skill level, so the higher the skill level is, the higher the Rash Red is, and the more damage you do. So her Rash Red in that regard is even better. But yeah, she can just come in later and do her damage as well while still applying Rash Red. So they both even synergize really well with, together. So also pretty strong S unit. Let's go and talk about the Megumines. To no one's surprise, Fast Megumin is still really strong in fire unit. She will get a little bit more competition pretty soon, aka with Annie, second Annie. But for now, again, self boosts are really strong. Even though normally you want like team supports, for Megumin it doesn't count that much. Like, you want her to explode anyway as soon as possible. So getting a self speed boost, getting a self magic attack boost so she can just get the strongest explosion off makes it a really good unit to pick up and to use. Second unit for me in the S tier is actually, I know this seems a little bit weird, but it is the Overlord Megumin. Some people might ask why, and why is ReZero just an A? The thing here is, this Megumin has a speed boost that scales with levels for a team. So yes, that means the speed boost is actually a little bit faster, which means you can get more attacks out. And this synergizes really well with Shelter, for example, who wants as much speed boost as possible. And of course for other teams that maybe don't even have another speed boost unit like Fast Darkness in there. But yeah, this just allows her team to do a little bit more damage, and with that I think she's actually a little bit higher than ReZero Megu. Like, we didn't even use ReZero Megu that much anymore. She kind of fell off in recent times. But yeah, she is still really strong. I think she's also meta still for Light, even though in the current Light arena we didn't use her. But again, in the future she will see a little bit more huge. Not as much. She actually also falls off rather soonish, but for now she's up there. Another Light unit we just talked about kinda is, of course, Fast Darkness. That's right, she's also up here. Darkness isn't D for Darkness, I know, what a surprise. But yeah, her kit is also just really strong. Self-Gotch boost with a medium physical defense boost for your whole team, a tier 2 speed boost for the whole team. She just buffs your teams a lot and pretty much allows herself to keep ulting her ulti 2 all the time. In theory, I would say she actually gets stronger in the future with higher ulti 2 levels, but second Annie is coming with that 2 really strong Light units are coming that probably 100% push it down a lot. So yeah, enjoy the recent times with Darkness, because her time will sadly be gone soon. But for now, because Fess is not out yet, she's still in the S tier. Then we get our next Rashford unit, in that case Ninja Chris. Tier 2 Rashford, self tier 3 physical attack boost with her ultis. I don't know what to say more, strong unit. Same with Yun here, a lightning unit. Ooh, big screen here. Just strong kit. Like, the skill damage is still really good, especially off her skill 2 with the HP condition. It's a really big nuke. A slow is also welcome. Her ulti 2 is still good and actually gets better with more ulti levels. She will get also more competition in the future, but she's still a really good unit. Yukata Yun, again, HP condition skill, big damage. Minor CDR skill, really good, buffing ultis. She's a staple for a while in Dark. Same with the new Kamiko. Again, she's a really good slot 4 unit coming in, getting her nuke off. Big damage. Also, of course, she's a team passive trade provider, so more damage for your team. With that, she's also staple. Then we have Cecily, Snow Cecily, our first Cecily on the tier list. And with that, I think actually our strongest Cecily that we currently have. She applies tier 1 electric damage boost, a lightning damage boost, sorry, which is a good damage increase. She has a heal, she has her ulti 1.5, which is actually pretty good buff all for now. And with that, she has a really good kit that works really well with the current Electro team that we have, and even with future Electro teams that are coming. Then we have, of course, Fire Mitsurugi, Kempo Mitsurugi. Again, CDR skill, that alone, like, CDR is so important, it's so good. That alone makes a unit, like, really good. So again, he has that, so he's a top tier unit. He also has really good synergy with other physical units, of course, thanks to his ulti 1.5. And his second skill, which is a moderate reduction of the enemy's physical defense, so all your physical units even do more damage. Yeah, just a strong kit. Then we got our Kempo Rin. What should I say, guys? CDR skill. You know what this means. She's strong. HP condition skill as well. Big damage nuke. Really good. Good kit. Good ults. Just a good unit. And I feel like I'm just repeating myself, but I just want to go through at least the S tier units here a little bit more in detail. Casually, she has also an elemental damage boost, in that case wind elemental damage boost. She also has a counter for the team, which is a little bit damage back, so that's good, you know. And again, of course, she has really good units, ultis, so good unit. Swimsuit Erika, another part of the water trio together with Aqua and Chris. Tier 2 speed boost, HP condition, single target skill, decent ultis for now with her ulti 1. What else did I say, guys? Strong unit, meta unit, there we go. Next Rashford unit on the table, and you know what this means. Also S, right? It's Onsen Melissa. She has not an HP condition skill, actually. She has a debuff condition skill, but it's still a really strong skill with high damage. Then again, I said it. Rashford that actually, again, scales with levels, but for that is AoE. Is a little bit bad for now, but again, will be good when we actually get AoE arenas, but that alone makes her S. Her ulti are actually like not that great, especially her ulti 2 is at the moment not that much used, but when it gets higher and actually heals more, you actually might see her used like that a little bit. But otherwise, at least a tier 3 physical defense down is still good if you run a physical team, which we sadly currently don't do. So yeah. Then next Earth unit, Vanir. Actually, our first OG unit up here, I think. Yeah, he's the first OG unit up here, and he is just strong. Like, again, CDR skill. What else would I say? His AoE is even really strong thanks to the condition it has. Self-heal on the basic is still really good, and of course, his ulti 1.5 is also really good. Slow is also good. Like, slow is really good. Self-magic attack boost is really good. So in theory, you don't even need a buff for him, but then again, it just makes it a lot easier. So yeah, strong unit. Okay, next unit is Meru, or Mel, however you want to call it. Probably triggered some people by saying Meru, I'm sorry. But yeah, same stuff as that before. Rash Red on one skill, HP condition on the other skill with high damage multipliers. On top of that, she also has a really strong lightning damage ulti that gives her a tier 3 physical attack boost and a tier 2 speed boost for the whole team. She's probably the strongest OG unit we actually have, and she's still meta and JP up to date. It's ridiculous how good she is. What else should I say? Then our first collab unit in the S tier is Bell. And I know a lot of people back then weren't that high on the Bell train. I said it before that his time will come, and his time is now. We have a proper physical team for Fire that really fits him well. He synergizes really well with Kempo Mitsurugi CDR, so you actually can spam a lot of skills. Thanks to multiple physical units, even his skill 1 that gives that reduces the enemy's physical defense by tier 3 actually has now use because it multiplies the damage of all the other units, so it's not that bad to use. And then again, a guaranteed ulti crit on top of that as a skill is really good. Next one is Eins Ulgon. Let's make window a little bit smaller again so we can actually fit it on the screen. Here we go. Our first unit up here, I think, that doesn't have some kind of CDR or strong or anything like that. But in exchange for that, he actually has two other really strong skills. First up, he has a gotcha skill that is still really good. It's a little bit behind CDR, but like still really, really strong. So having that is really good. Then you have his AoE skill that scales if the enemy has a debuff. So he still has the scaling, and even for an AoE skill, 245% at max skill level is really, really strong. And then of course, he still has a really strong ulti. Self buff, tier 3 magic resistance down on the enemy works really, really well, especially in Dark for now, where for example Yukata Union allows your team to do more damage, allows yourself to do more damage. He can self heal, he could in theory self buff, strong unit overall, and still a little bit meta for a while. And now we come to the actual last unit of our S tier. Also another light unit that will sadly fall off rather soon as it's Shell tier. Self heal on a physical unit is pretty good, not gonna lie, but in exchange for that, of course, she has really low defense, so she takes a lot of damage, so she actually need that to heal herself up. One skill gives her self gotcha, the other skill gives the enemy a physical defense down of tier 2. In theory, not that strong, but her big power is in her ulti, and that is because her ulti gives her a buff that speeds herself up, but it doesn't count as a self speed boost, which means she can have her own speed boost plus another speed boost, which pretty much allows her to attack like every 2 seconds or every 3 seconds, I don't know. But it's ridiculous how often she can attack, and with that, plus another buff, for example, physical attack buff, she just racks out damage after and after and after again, and it's really, really good. But again, she's a really selfish unit, so that's part of her downfall. Okay, I think that was already a pretty long time, so let's go a little bit quicker about the A tier. We have Fast Kazuma. Again, he sadly kind of got replaced a little bit by the other Electro units we have, and other Electro units are coming out rather soon that just also will replace him. So yeah, still good to use, but there are probably better teams out there. Same with Dark Kazuma. He simply doesn't have a team Dark. Then we have Aqua. She's still a really good slot 4 or 5 unit to come in, gotcha, attack boost, maybe get an ulti off, but like not that strong in the front unit. Cafe Megu can be used and will actually be used for the next arena, I think, because she can take the death skill and then explode right after, so it doesn't matter. But she's a little bit more niche, like if you need to wave clear or something like that, you use her, otherwise you probably want the Gotch on your main team. Same with Zero Megu. Again, there's other Megu out there, that's what she does, but with the team speed boost, she's actually a little bit worse than the other one. But again, she's really good for magic light teams, and with that she actually sees some use in the future again, but for now she's still a strong A. Another Megu, kind of Zero Megu kit copy pasted, a little bit worse, but still decently usable in mages, in Earth, especially Earth is currently a little bit more mage focused with Vanir, and for example Union, so she can see some use. Same with Wiz, good slot 4 unit, for example, to come in, do some damage. Union's kit also still pretty good. Casual Mitsurugi is I think also a really good unit. He has Gotcha, which is really good, lower the enemy's physical defense. He just needs physical Earth units to support him, which we currently don't have, so not as yet, but maybe he gets a little bit up, I don't know. Then we have the composition between 3-star and 4-star Rin, which I think is really funny. Currently we see a little bit more 3-star Rins because she actually has the self-speed boost, which is good, but in theory, if you use Rin as a slot 4 unit, for example, and she comes in and just do like 2-3 skills, get her ulti off, and you can't do the same thing with 4-star Rin. 4-star Rin is actually better, but if you can't get her ulti off without the speed boost, then the 3-star one is better. Then we have Cielo. She's still a good option if you, for example, don't have Snow Cecily. But again, gets a little bit pressed out. Onsen Cielo, again, she will be good in the future, but for now, she don't have a team where she actually benefits. Earth's biggest damage healer right now is Vanir, and she can't heal Vanir, so not that bad, but still not that great for her to be an S tier. Snow Mia currently used a lot, but she will also fall off again. New light units are coming with no place for her. Pyjama Mia actually works really well with Kazuma, but Dark is currently mage focused. If there's arena where physical units are more prioritized, she will be good together with Kazuma, but for now only A. Ainu Mia, same problem as some other units have. There's too much competition in fire. Like, we have Mitsurugi, we have Leah, we have Bell. You only want to run these units together. Then, for example, maybe a Megumin, and sadly, you don't have a slot for Mia left since you have also the passive trait, team passive provider. And yeah, again, if you need what she has, aka debuff block, for example, she's still really good in fire. The new Snow Amy is also here. She's a little bit worse than Snow Cecily, but still decently usable. For example, if you don't have Snow Cecily, what's it called? Arabic Amy, that's right, that's the right name we normally use in the community. Still also really good unit. We have now a dedicated damage dealing buffer in Union, so she sees a little bit less use, but if there's a boss that deals tons of damage and you don't run Angel Gun and you need a healer, she's still really good. The new unit we have is Vanir. He's also in the A tier. Again, tier 2 speed boost is in theory really strong, but we have the water trio. Water mages are not yet ready, so for now only in A tier. Then Wind Vanir. Same problem as this other unit. There's so much competition in Wind, especially with Fesquis already providing pretty much all the buffs. He is still really strong as a DPS unit, but there are other units to compete with, and he sadly has a short end of the stick. Same with Ice. She fell a little bit down, as you can see in the tier list. But that's the same problem we have again here with other units. So much competition in Wind that there's no place for her. Then we have the beta units. Just take a look over it. I think everything here should be pretty much self-explained. By the way, it only goes up till here. Everything below is the sub-tier. These units, you can use them if you don't have anything better, but you normally don't want to use them. Big shoutouts here, by the way, to Cecily and Cielo, the 3 stars. They are here in the B tier because in theory they are actually really good. Their biggest problem is just that they don't have their ulti 2 version 2s or higher level on their ulti 2s. For example, Cielo's ulti 2 is really good, but so far the damage is too low because it's only up to level 5 that you don't use her. Cecily really benefits from an ulti 2 version 2 as it provides a tier 2 speed boost, but without that, she's sadly not that great right now, but they will come in the future. That's all I think I promise. Then we have the Zap tier. I think everything here is also safe explained. For example, Onsen Aqua is here because of the light damage bonus for the Machi Aqua and other units. So yeah, most of them are just physical and magical attack subs. A few of them are elemental damage subs. Also, for example, Valentine Cecily for the upper called Xmas Cecily, and in the future, of course, Fast Cecily. These are still really good units as a sub if you have them, but I wouldn't recommend using them as front units. Then we have the worst as a sub tier here. I think it's also pretty self-explanatory. You probably didn't see any of these units used in recent times. Maybe Earth Aura, but then again, since Vanir and the other units, you probably don't use it. Like, all of these units are in theory not bad, but they either are low damage and don't provide the team buffs that you need, or just have better units out of them. And then last but not least, the passive trade unit here. We have Butler Cosmo for fire units. We have Pyjama Melissa for wind units. We have Casino Melissa for physical teams and water teams. And we have Idle Mel or Meru for light teams. These are in a separate tier because their kits themselves are like not that great that I'm like, oh yeah, they 100% should come out because they do damage. I think these are on a power level where if they come out for 1 or 2 skills, it's, I guess, fine, but if they don't come out, it's normally better for your damage. So for example, even Melissa, the new Melissa, I said before, her kit is in theory still really good, but in a water arena, you don't want the Melissa to come out. You want your main units to stay alive as long as possible. So if she comes out, that's already probably a kind of bad run, if you know what I mean. But this pretty much summarizes the whole tier list, a little bit longer than I wanted to. If you have any questions or want more detailed explanation about why Unit X is in tier X and not in tier Y, ask them down in the YouTube description or join my Discord video, link is also down in the video description, and ask me there. I gladly answer them. The new update of the tier list will probably come after we have the information from Sassysoft about the units for next month. Also, when I finally know when we get Ulti 2 version 2s or Ulti 2 buffs or the off-element damage cut. Once one of these happens, I'll make a new update, which again should be rather soonish because the transfer happens in a few days. But I wanted to get this video out before, just to have at least one explanation video out. And with that, for future videos, I don't need to go that much into detail about why unit is ranked that, because I already explained it here, and I can refer to this video and just talk about the new units and maybe shifts in there. But yeah, that's it. Still, you hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice day and see you all next time. Bye bye.